In this video, we'll be taking a look at 4 college basketball games happening on January 5th, 2025, and providing you with free team picks and total picks for each one of those games, so 8 picks in total. Welcome back to Cash Out Sports. Let's dive right into it. Oh, and don't forget to subscribe and to click the bell icon to get notified as soon as these videos get released, so that you have more time to plan out your bets as we provide these videos on a daily basis. I can guarantee that you'll have all the important information that you'll need on these 4 college basketball games after fully watching this video. One more thing before we start: if you would like to gain access to our best exclusive sports picks to take your journey to the next level, then check out our Patreon in the link down below, where we offer our best single picks, parlay picks, and much more. Now let's get started. Providence versus Connecticut. The Big East takes center stage on national television this Sunday with a compelling matchup between the Providence Friars and the number 11 Connecticut Huskies. These two teams faced off twice during the previous season, with Connecticut emerging victorious in both contests by margins of at least 9 points. Most recently, Providence suffered a humbling 78-50 defeat at home against number 8 Marquette, failing to cover as 7.5-point underdogs. Meanwhile, Connecticut comes into this game fresh off an 81-68 road win over DePaul, where they narrowly covered the 12.5-point spread as favorites. Connecticut is considered the favorite in this game, and the injury to McNeely gives them additional leverage despite their already strong position. Connecticut may not even need the extra advantage, as Providence has been struggling to find consistency on the court. The Friars' recent blowout loss to Marquette at home is indicative of their current struggles, and Connecticut's talent is on par with, if not superior to, Marquette's. Playing at home in stores only further strengthens Connecticut's hand. A key storyline for Providence has been Bryce Hopkins' ongoing injury woes. Hopkins managed to suit up for 3 games before being sidelined again in his effort to recover. Without his presence, Providence appears outmatched in the Big East. Their backcourt, led by Pierre and Joseph, lacks the depth and versatility to compensate for their other deficiencies. Connecticut holds a significant size advantage inside, with Reed expected to dominate near the rim and Karabin also utilizing his physicality to outplay the Friars. The trajectories of these two programs couldn't be more different. Connecticut has rediscovered the form that led them to a national championship, stringing together 7 consecutive victories since their time in Hawaii this past November. In stark contrast, Providence has been in disarray, managing only 2 wins in their last 9 games. One glaring difference between these teams is their ball handling and efficiency. Connecticut ranks 29th in turnovers per game with a low average of 9.6, while Providence lags behind at 252nd, averaging 12.3 turnovers. Similarly, Connecticut boasts a stellar assist-to-turnover ratio of 2.1, placing them second in the nation, compared to Providence's 283rd ranked ratio of 1. The Huskies also have one of the most efficient offenses in the country, ranking second in adjusted offensive efficiency with an impressive 125 points scored per 100 possessions. Despite dealing with McNeely's injury, Connecticut remains well positioned to handle Providence. The Friars simply don't generate enough offense to pose a significant threat, averaging just 69 points per game on under 43% shooting. Providence struggles to keep up against elite competition. This was evident in their recent performance against Marquette, where they managed just 50 points. Additionally, the Friars have failed to cover the spread in 5 of their last 8 outings. Connecticut's deep roster and talent level suggest they'll successfully navigate any challenges posed by injuries, continuing their next-man-up mentality. Providence, undermanned and inconsistent, is unlikely to trouble Connecticut. Even with a shortened lineup, Providence's struggles were epitomized in their last game, where none of their starters reached double figures in scoring. Heading into a matchup against the 2-time defending champions, this lack of firepower makes them a difficult team to back. When laying down significant points in a conference game, identifying even small advantages is critical, and Connecticut appears to hold all the cards in this contest. So the Connecticut Huskies to win and cover the spread as favorites is our full game side pick. While the pace of play for both teams is relatively slow, it's unlikely to matter because of Connecticut's highly efficient offense. Even with fewer possessions, the Huskies have the ability to generate plenty of points and surpass the total. They've gone over the total in their last 3 games, and the pace is already factored into the line. Connecticut's size advantage in the post will allow them to secure early points inside, which in turn will open up opportunities for perimeter shooters like Ball and Karabin, both of whom have made over 35 three-pointers this season. Connecticut Connecticut's offense, ranked second nationally in efficiency, will face a Providence defense that ranks 77th, highlighting a major mismatch when Connecticut has the ball. Although Connecticut's defense is just average, ranking 95th in efficiency, Providence's perimeter attack should manage enough points to push the score past the total. Over the projected total is our full game total pick. Northwestern versus Purdue. The Wildcats narrowly lost to Penn State on Thursday, falling 84-80 as +4.5 underdogs in a tightly contested road game. Meanwhile, the number 20 Boilermakers also played on Thursday, delivering an impressive 81-61 victory over Minnesota as -5.5 favorites, also on the road. Both teams come into this matchup having experienced very different outcomes in their previous games, setting the stage for an intriguing showdown. Purdue enters this contest riding the momentum of a 2-game winning streak and will benefit from playing on their home court. While the Boilermakers have 4 losses this season, 3 of those defeats came at the hands of ranked opponents, and the 4th occurred during a tough conference road game. Offensively, Purdue is highly efficient, shooting nearly 49% from the field. Although their defense has been inconsistent at times, the Boilermakers have tightened up recently, holding opponents to 64 and 61 points in their last 2 outings. On the other hand, Northwestern is looking to bounce back from a recent loss to Penn State. In addition to that setback, the Wildcats have also suffered losses to Dayton, Butler, and Iowa. The Wildcats are a strong offensive team, shooting 45.3% from the field and scoring at least 80 points in 3 consecutive games. Statistically, this iteration of the Purdue team may be the weakest rebounding unit they've had since Zach Edey joined the roster, and it's unusual for opponents to have a greater average height than the Boilermakers. Nevertheless, Purdue compensates for this with exceptional guard play. Northwestern, by contrast, struggles to utilize its big men effectively, which could prove decisive in this matchup. Purdue's guard duo of Lawyer and Smith has the potential to be among the best backcourt pairings in the country. Northwestern, despite its commendable record against the spread, may find it difficult to contain Purdue's offensive and defensive strengths over a full 40 minutes on the road. Northwestern has shown they can cover spreads regularly, but ultimately, Purdue should have enough firepower and home court advantage to secure both the win and cover. So the Purdue Boilermakers to win and cover the spread as favorites is our full game side pick. When these teams faced off last season, they obliterated the over in 2 thrilling overtime games, combining to average an astonishing 190.5 points per game. Even without the additional periods, the teams averaged a combined 157 points per game. While Purdue is not typically known for playing at a fast pace, as reflected in their 308th overall tempo ranking on KenPom, they are ranked 10th in adjusted offensive efficiency. This combination suggests that the Boilermakers can score efficiently even in a slower pace game. In their 3 Big Ten matchups this season, Purdue has averaged 78 points per game, a figure that positions them well to contribute to another over. Additionally, they've surpassed the 80-point mark in 3 of their last 5 games. Northwestern, like Purdue, operates at a slower tempo, ranking 313th in tempo according to KenPom. However, the Wildcats are no slouches offensively, ranking 74th in adjusted offensive efficiency. In Big Ten play, they have averaged 76 points per game and have reached or exceeded 80 points in 3 consecutive contests. With both teams capable of scoring efficiently despite their slower paces, the over has proven to be a consistent outcome this season, with a combined record of 14-12-2. Considering Purdue's 78 points per game in conference play and Northwestern's 76 points per game in Big Ten action, combined with last season's head-to-head games both going over the total, the offensive talent on both sides makes the over the clear choice here. Over the projected total is our full game total pick. Kansas versus UCF. The Kansas Jayhawks will travel to Florida on Sunday to face the UCF Knights in a pivotal Big 12 conference matchup. Kansas enters the game seeking redemption after an unexpected home loss to West Virginia in their conference opener earlier this week. Meanwhile, UCF is riding a wave of momentum, having won 6 consecutive games, including a significant road upset against Texas Tech in their conference debut. Kansas began the season ranked as the top team in the nation, boasting a roster featuring key returning players and enhanced depth. Despite these advantages, even head coach Bill Self has acknowledged that the team has not yet met the high expectations set for them. Conversely, UCF has exceeded expectations, stringing together 6 straight victories capped by an impressive road win at Texas Tech. Despite UCF's strong performance, Kansas remains the justified favorite heading into this matchup. The Jayhawks hold a notable edge in offensive efficiency, maintaining better control over turnovers than their opponents. Furthermore, Kansas has faced one of the nation's toughest schedules, leaving them well prepared and battle-tested for this encounter. Defensively, Kansas is even more dominant, ranking 25th in field goal defense and 43rd in scoring defense nationally. These strengths position the Jayhawks to stifle a UCF offense that has shot over 50% in its last 2 outings. Both teams enter this contest following surprising results in their most recent games. Kansas suffered a rare home loss as 12.5-point favorites, while UCF pulled off a stunning upset as 13.5-point underdogs on the road. This contrast in outcomes raises questions about whether the Kansas -5 line reflects an overreaction to these performances. According to KenPom, Kansas ranks 12th in the country in adjusted efficiency margin at plus 23.38, while UCF sits at 64th with plus 12.16. On a neutral court, this suggests an 11-point advantage for Kansas. Even accounting for a modest home court edge for UCF, the current spread still offers strong value for Kansas backers. Statistically, Kansas has the upper hand in several key areas. The Jayhawks boast a superior field goal percentage, commit fewer turnovers per game, and have a higher rebound rate. These advantages provide a solid foundation to support Kansas in this matchup. While UCF is undoubtedly capable of delivering another standout performance, the talent disparity between the teams is expected to become evident. Ultimately, Kansas appears to be the right choice at this favorable price point, and their superior talent and depth should shine through on Sunday. The Jayhawks head into Florida with a clear objective to bounce back and secure a victory on Sunday. So the Kansas Jayhawks to win and cover the spread as favorites is our full game side pick. Despite their loss to West Virginia earlier this week, Kansas continues to showcase one of the nation's toughest defenses. This formidable defensive unit will face a stiff challenge in Orlando against a UCF team that has been scorching hot from the field in recent games. However, the Jayhawks are expected to respond with a commanding defensive effort, aiming to disrupt UCF's rhythm and seize control of the game early. Kansas is currently ranked 8th in defensive efficiency and holds a spot in the top 50 in both scoring defense and field goal defense nationally. Their ability to dictate the game's tempo will likely prevent UCF from replicating its recent scoring outbursts. Under the projected total is our full game total pick. Illinois versus Washington. 2 Big Ten programs are set to square off in the Evergreen State, each aiming to secure a valuable conference victory. The number 22 Illinois Fighting Illini head westward to face off against the Washington Huskies on Sunday night. In their most recent game on Thursday night, Illinois delivered an emphatic performance, crushing the number 9 Oregon Ducks 109-77 on the road. This victory was particularly impressive, as the Fighting Illini managed to win outright as 4.5-point underdogs. Meanwhile, Washington pulled off an upset of their own on Thursday, defeating Maryland 75-69 at home as 6-point underdogs. Historically, the Huskies hold a slight edge in the all-time series between these teams, leading 4-2. Their most recent encounter was in the second round of the NCAA tournament on March 18, 2006, where Washington narrowly edged Illinois 67-64 at Cox Arena in San Diego, California. Heading into this matchup, the Washington Huskies have been on a solid run, winning 2 consecutive games and 4 of their last 5 contests. However, they face a significant challenge in this game as they are outmatched on both ends of the court. Washington's best chance for success lies in hoping Illinois experiences a letdown after their dominant victory over a top 10 Oregon team. Despite this possibility, it seems unlikely, as Illinois head coach Brad Underwood has consistently kept his team focused and prepared. Illinois boasts one of the most potent offenses in the nation, ranking among the top 10 in scoring, and they are highly efficient shooters from beyond the arc. The Fighting Illini demonstrated their resilience by excelling in a tough environment in Eugene, whereas Washington has struggled at home, suffering defeats to USC and Seattle. So the Illinois Fighting Illini to win and cover the spread as favorites is our full game side pick. The Washington Huskies are not considered one of the most dynamic teams in NCAA basketball. They play at a relatively moderate pace, averaging 71.2 possessions per game, which places them 174th in the nation in terms of pace of play. This is notably slower than Northwestern, Illinois, who ranks 21st with an average of 75.7 possessions per game. If Washington can successfully disrupt Illinois' usual rhythm, there is potential for a lower-scoring game to unfold in Seattle on Sunday. The Huskies' record reflects a trend toward lower-scoring games, with the team going 6-7 on the over for the season. They are 0-4 on the over as underdogs and just 2-7 in games following a win. Illinois has a slightly better record in this regard, standing at 7-6 on the over for the season. But they are 0-1 on the over when playing as road favorites. Under the projected total is our full game total pick. That's all for now, so if you have any other games you would like reviewed, then leave a comment down below with the game you would like analyzed. Subscribe to our channel, leave a like on this video, and we'll get to it as soon as we possibly can. We would also love to hear your opinion on the picks presented to you in this video, whether you agree or disagree with them, so leave a comment down below and do let us know.